A slight cream-colored horseborn with flaxen hair steps out of the ranks of the wounded. Her blue war paint stands out against her otherwise yellow coloration. The remaining horseborn show deference to her. She says a few things in the foreign tongue of her people, but stops when she sees you do not understand. Forgiveness. I speak to you. You have my weapon. Whoa, cool centaur lady. She's pledging fealty. Now I've got so many centaur people. Sorry for fight. Do not know you. She speaks your language with confidence. What do you mean? And who are you? I lead herds. I am... The next word is a long, shrill, and confusing, but certain sounds stand out. Canary? Canary smiles and stomps the ground rhythmically with a hoof. That's easy. Canary, yes. And you? Rook. Good greetings. Our stories tell of strangers who come help us. You two legs that walk along four. My kind with you already. She points to the horseborn in your ranks. That doesn't make me the stranger in your stories. You not need believe. We believe. We follow you and join your herd. Why? She issues a slew of sounds in her native language before translating. When sun stops and plains break and a god appears, follow two legs that walk along four. This our story we hold true. You see these things. The sun has stopped and I've seen the ground breaking, but what god are you talking about? Large snake, not from this plane. The serpent. It could certainly be a god. You have seen the god too. You know these signs. You lead us. We follow. Canary looks at you with a steady gaze instead of the constant movement you experience with Deirdre. Not everyone likes horseborn. Most of the horseborn we've met have caused us harm, including you. Many of my people won't want to be near yours. Not today, but different day. Herds fight, but forget. Humans remember things a long time. Varl even longer. Herd believes leader. We follow you. Herd grows strong. She bows again, motions to her people, and all the horseborn join your ranks at a respectful distance. Is there going to be like a new category? Are they just like considered fighters?
They say the moon and stars are always visible when you look at Luega's godstone.
Luega.
How can that be true?
I don't know. They're not included in the calculations? Oh, okay. Oh, is it like inside and like her drawing is on the ceiling of the rock? That's pretty cool. The moon, her spirit, the stars, her eyes, Elio says, plucking a few strings of his instrument. Lauga, the god of beauty and of, well, of things that happen in the night. The skald smiles. The gods may be dead, but my wife still prays to Lauga. I'm thankful for her piety. The skald is not the only one smiling. A quick look around reveals grins throughout the caravan. I see why Arborang has...
to the flock.
Hey! Welcome, welcome! Thank you so much for that new patron. Evan, welcome. I really appreciate it. A truth spoken in front of Lauga's stone is supposed to ripple through the night, either strengthening a lover's resolve or carrying away undesired affection. Elio skips away to find his wife. They're gonna get sexy. In the shadow of Lauga's godstone, Oddlife taps you on the shoulder. Wait, what? Incredible, isn't it? The godstone? or us making it to Arbering? Ha! Both, I guess. Job well done, Rook. You deserve a reward. She gonna smooch me? Do you have a reward in mind? Maybe a smooch? A couple of ideas, yes. And how do I go about finding out what they are? You have to be absolutely sure you want to know. Are you absolutely sure? Her grin is telling. I'm absolutely fucking sure, yes. Good, but I can't really tell you here. No? Oddlife slowly shakes her head, her eyes never leaving yours. Well, let's look around for someplace more suitable. Lead the way. Sex! It's for sex! Oh, I have to wait for it to save. Hey, you know, it's a god, right? Who am I to say no to a god? Right? What am I supposed to do? Say no to a god? Can we please make it Arbering?
We made it. But why are so many camped outside the walls? They must have seen the darkness approaching.
Wind ripples across tents, which multiply the closer you get to Arbering. Dung litters the paths, and it's clearly not all from Yawks. Rattling coughs mix with raucous laughter. Small fights break out for no apparent reason. Curious eyes grow wide as they spot the Varl and Horseborn. Mothers grab their children, men their weapons. Various clan banners snap and whip in the wind. You recognize the heraldry of Karlshus from Aelio's tales and the Strand's banner from previous talks with Ubin. There are even a few Cragsman banners by their muddy appearance. You also notice the division between each clan. There is no mixing or unity. I'll push ahead, Prince Luden says. My father will want to see me, and I'll be able to find out what exactly is going on here. Yrsa and a few fighters escort him through the crowds toward the walls. Old Adakan's people are here, you hear a woman from your caravan shout. I have to check on him. Others are finding familiar clans and kin as well, slowly drifting from your banner. Bring them here. Bring Adakan and the others to us. Some of the folk around the fires look half-starved and gladly join, making their way toward the supply carts. Others pack their meager possessions and fall in line. Yeah, this is all my fucking clan, all of them. Where the crowd is the most dense in volume and numbers, the caravan comes to a stop. Ahead, you notice a sharp line where the tents and people stop. The ground beyond is pinned with arrows and not much else. A few hundred yards of empty space between these people and Arboring's walls. What's this? You ask, confused by all you're taking in. That's the peaceful bit, an older fighter says near you. He looks the type who has seen enough things to lack enthusiasm for much of anything. The king's men can't kill us from the walls, and we can't kill them from here. But what's caused the fighting, you ask? The man smiles, his face unaccustomed to the action. Come on, Sunderslayer, he says. It's the same damn thing that causes every fight. They've got something we want. King's got food and protective walls. We're starving with our asses facing that rolling darkness. His words deal you a heavy blow. So Arboring's at war. The man laughs a wicked laugh. That's putting it lightly, he says. From what I can tell, this is the rest of our kind. You brought the last of the Varl, and even dragged in some worthless horseborn. This fight's for survival. The winner lives, the loser's gone forever. His laugh turns into hysteria, and you leave unsettled. That doesn't sound very good. The Yawks are tended and tents aligned as best as possible. Some are repairing their armor, others look anxious to talk to various clans. The Varl King's eyes scan the field as he approaches. I want to know what's going on here as much as you, he says, but we'd better find a way to defend our gear and supplies. These other clans could form a mob if they discover we have food. Seeing the hungry eyes all around you, you agree. We've got an issue, Oddlife says. I don't know why, but the other clans don't like the Horseborn, or the Varl for that matter. They're starting trouble and I'm going to stop it. They can do their shit. I'm gonna investigate the standoff. You leave Hakon in charge of the camp while you and a few others wander through the collection of clans asking various leaders for information. King's addled, an older woman tells you, so we have to break in and remove him. A clan leader says, he's not addled, he's just a bastard. Keeping the food we send him, leaving us to rot. Still another says, I heard he's dead, and that Depth's damn son of his is responsible for all this. After hours of trying to sift through the stories, you return to the caravan and hear similar results from the others. One clansman says a man told him the Menders took control of the king and are making him their puppet. You would be amused if you were not so tired. The mood has changed since you left. Another clan attacked us and we lost some people, a fighter says. They said we're wrong for bringing the Varl and Horseborn along. You feel their accusing stares but say nothing. As soon as you find a stump on which to sit, you look up to see Rugga approaching. The former governor is backed by nearly 50 fighters as he walks toward your camp. Everyone watches out of curiosity more than concern. You've been asking a lot of questions lately, he says. Why not just come to me? I've been chosen to lead these clans against this king who has decided not to protect or feed his people. We should talk about your role inside in this, just you and me. I've discovered what these battle lines are all about, Rugga says. The king's shut his people out. These clans are here to see that he feeds and protects his people as he is supposed to, and they've chosen me to lead that cause. He's a fucking dick face. The tent flaps close, leaving you and Rugga alone, both armed. No need to mince words now, is there? I know you want to kill me. Only when I think about how you betrayed us. Then let's be clear. If either of us leaves this tent without the other, the fields around us will turn red. Then say what you came to say before I do something stupid. Rugga snorts his amusement. I wasn't making that stuff up outside about the king. He really has shut all of us out. Started a few months ago when he started stockpiling food and slowing trade. Once the wealthy families were all pulled inside the walls, he shut the gates. The only thing he said is that he can't feed everyone. Oh, and his archers fire on anyone who gets close. You watch Rugga closely while deciding what to say. So you plan to break down his walls? That's the last thing I want to do. We need those walls to stop the dredge and whatever else is coming behind them. But if we have to destroy them, we will. Maybe the menders inside can repair any damage. There might be ways past the first few walls, but the black wall? The governor just shakes his head. How did you come to lead the clans? Beauregard was the largest human town next to the capital. You don't become a governor of a place like that without certain skills and powerful friends. And what are those certain skills? The governor just smiles. Why should I believe you at all? Because you see all of these people gathered. Do you think they're out here for fun? No, but I doubt the king just wants to be an ass. If you're the king and your people are starving at your gates, do you let them in or keep them out? Don't answer. We both know you'd let them in, unless you knew something you weren't telling them. Either way, the people have a right to an answer over the food they sent him and Arboreng's protection. I think you'd agree the food and walls belong to the kingdom, not the king. To what end? You want to go to war to ask the king a question. No, I want to go to war to make the king answer a few questions, like why he'd leave his people outside the walls to starve. So this war is unavoidable? Probably. I officially meet with the king in a few hours to either come to an agreement or pull our banners from his. I won't be surprised if you're invited too. The mighty Sunder Slayer and army. If so, make your decisions carefully. His tone is not exactly threatening. Not exactly. You move to the tent flaps and both of you open them simultaneously so that no fight breaks out. Let's talk to Weirdo. Why are we not just killing him? Because the game said I couldn't. The former cragsman is trying to lure something out of a hole with a small piece of dried meat on a string. He leaves it dangling by his side while standing to talk. Looks like you're keeping busy. I'm playing Fox and Hare with a Vol. Do you think Fox has ever played Trigby in Vol? No. Trigby looks disappointed. Do you have any idea on how to keep two groups from killing each other? Any powders or relics or crazy schemes? He reaches into his tunic and grabs something, pauses, releases whatever it is, and shakes his head. People kill each other every day. Just enjoy the show. But if it comes to war, I don't think either side will leave us out of it. Trigby thinks about what you're saying, tapping a fingernail against his teeth. He looks at his finger, sneers, and spits. Killing kings requires a lot of lives. It's just as easy to kill clansmen instead. Either way, some will praise you and others will throw dung at your face. Or you could collect all the dung in a giant hill, stand on top of it, and be your own king. As you watch him crouch back down to the hole, you wonder what possessed you to speak to him. I don't know, the game said I could do it. Scathatch and Deirdre pace nervously, keeping their distance from humans, Varl, and other horseborn. Roak patrols around the two a short distance away, nodding to you briefly. Is everything okay? Many mans, more than we know, live. You stop to look around at the thousands of tents on the field and hundreds of homes beyond the capital's walls. I'm from a small village. I'm not used to seeing so many people either. Maybe herd too big. So many mouths hungry. If some dead, more easy feed herd. Scathatch stomps the ground and says a few shrill notes to Deirdre before turning to you. Deirdre forgets we are not of same thinking with mans. If you think big herd is right, we will think big herd is right. But what do you think is right, Scathatch? The male horseborn looks up at Arbring for a few moments while switching his tail in thought. I think big herd kick each other in small fields. He points to Arbring. Small fields behind walls. You thank them and offer a few calming words before departing. And then we have one more talk with Aelio. The Skald is tying a dyed strip of cloth into his daughter's hair, but sends her off to play as you near. We've come all this way for war. With luck, I might change their minds. And be the reed that would stop the wind. You've got a lyric for every moment, don't you? Of course. Plenty before us have been in similar situations and written about it. We only think our lives are unique. And if peace is not an option, is there a Skald song for that? Plenty. But I'll tell you what I'd do. Save the families who can't save themselves. I can't imagine if my wife and children were left out here, like they don't deserve the same protection as others. Aelio's words flood your thoughts as you walk away. Okay, so that was just like advice from the group that you've got, right? I don't know what I'm gonna need after this, so I'm just gonna go to the meeting. Before you head toward the large tent, Oddlife stops you. Are you certain you're ready for what could happen out there? Her worried look is infectious. The king may be a decent man, but I doubt he's kept his throne by always following the rules. I'm prepared for whatever the king and clans decide. I'm glad to hear the confidence in your voice, Oddlife says. Just be careful. I'll be back here with the rest of the clan if you need me. You smile and make your way back past the line of clansmen marking the boundary of the peaceful bit. The peaceful bit! The voices coming from under the tent are loud, animated. Best we could. You've done well. I never thought I'd see my son. Wait, he's English, not right. I never thought I'd see my son again. Well, we've all had easier journeys. The king's cheerful mood lessens. He's about to say something when he sees you approaching. Who's this? Well met, King Meinolf. I'm Rook, from Skoger. Luden steps forward. Father, this is the Sunder Slayer I told you about. King Meinolf nods, but is staring at Haken from under heavy brows. It pains me to hear you've lost so many of your hardy warriors, Haken, but tell me, where is Jorandir's Kender, Vognir? Vognir died protecting your son. I was Vognir's kinder. With Jornder's death at Einartoft, I'm king of the few remaining Varl. The king says nothing, contemplating the news. Your walls are the last hope for my people. No sense in denying it. I understand, of course, you'll have refuge here. The least I can do for bringing my son back alive. It'll be tight, but I'm sure we can find a place for you. King Meinolf Rook here is just as much responsible for the prince's safe return. He has quite a few clansmen. Careful, Val King. This is the human capital, and my generosity is already stretched thin. Hagen looks at you and shrugs. Hi, Cherry. Thank you so much for the raid. Tell me, Rook, what makes you better than the hundreds of other chieftains out here? Men whose great deeds I've heard of, no less. I've united... Oh, God. The only difference is I'm here before you now. Ha! Humility and confidence all in the same breath. Good night, Pocket. Have a good one. You remind me of the village chieftain from my childhood. A good man. Then allow this good man to bring his clan inside your walls. There are other good men among these clans. It doesn't change how many Arboren can hold or feed. Yeah, do you like them, Cherry Ray? They're pretty cute. Only now do you see Rugga and 24 fighters approaching. The king's guard looks concerned. I don't want to fight. I don't want to have a fight. Rugga, you're the worst. I agree, Meinolf. We should have killed him. Let's kill him right now. Did the Sunder Slayer convince you to open your gates to your people? You will never open my gates, enter my gates again. I'd hope you died in Boersgard. How is it you've come to speak for all these clans? The people you've turned your back on. Seems they needed a leader they could trust. Again, how have you come to speak for them? Did you fool them like the people of that rotten town you governed? The only fool here is the outnumbered king believing he still has a say in what happens now. Don't make us breach your walls. We'll just have to repair them once we're inside. I'm getting my accents all mixed up. Blah. It's fine. I'm gonna stay quiet for a little bit. With that many, you might get through a wall or two, but you'll die at the foot of the Black Wall. Listen to the pride in this king's voice when he speaks of killing thousands of his people. I'm just done. I'm done with accents. I'm not doing it anymore. There's nothing good in any of this, but I'll take a small amount of comfort in your death. You're a petty king and no longer deserve the title. Rook, look at your people out there. Our people. They need food and clean water, not that poison in the river. They need protection. You cannot allow this king to keep us from safety after all this way. He doesn't have to. I'll find a place for the people under your banner, Rook.
Welcome to the flock.
Aw, Lytton. Thank you so much for that sub. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you. Accents and voices are so hard to keep track of. Yeah, and it's been like 5 hours, and I'm just like, it's a lot. All of my accents are mixed together. A place inside the walls, alongside the Varl. A place this vain man will never be allowed again. That's enough. Both of you are bickering like children instead of leaders. And you, giant, joining this king after all we did to keep your people alive. Traitor. Haken growls and flexes his grip on his axe. All parties look angry and tense, and then they look at you. My banner, my people, are my only concern. Good. I'm granting you and your people, even those horseborn, into my walls, but move quickly. You still don't know how to play the game, Rook. No, I don't. I fucking hate you, is what, Rugga, you fucking dick. You massive asshole. Okay, great. There's an ambush on my caravan with no defenses built. Your tents quickly go up in flames. Humans and Varl burning. Great. 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 Good choice. Great decision. Can I make a different decision? Mother